the Capitol on January 6th. He just got sentenced, and we're going to have him on the show.
How's that possible?
It's
a bunch got overturned. A bunch of these rulings.
A lot of them did. He pled. Yeah. He took a plea, so because he could have got a lot more time. So that's how 95% of cases never go to trial. You plead because they scare the hell out of you.
Yeah, right.
So he's going to be on today at the 5:00 hour. But first up, I want to. So some Jewish voters in presidential swing states reconsider their longtime devotion to Democrats. This is real. So CNN just had Fetterman on, and he signals that the Harris campaign is scrambling after not being able to court the Jewish vote in Pennsylvania. How do you manage to both lose Pennsylvania Jews and Michigan Muslims at the same time? That is a special kind of incompetent.
How do you make no one happy? Either go all in on genocide or no genocide.
So, well, let's listen. Here he is. Here is putting on the Ritz himself, ladies and gentlemen.
What is your message to Jewish voters who are concerned about supporting Kamala Harris in Pennsylvania? 300,000 Jewish voters there.
Well, I know we've had a conversation about the situation with Israel and Gaza and that situation, and I've disagreed with the president, anyone about this. I've been a very consistent kind of voice throughout all of this, been on that side of for Israel, and now we have a diversity of opinion with the Democratic Party, and it is possible that may have alienated some members of the Jewish community, but my voice is only my voice, and I've been committed. I'm following. I'm going to follow Israel throughout all of this. So my opinion isn't really likely going to change. And it is absolutely an issue here.
I like how he says, I'm going to follow Israel all the way through this. So what I get from that response, he's 100% committed to representing Israel in Congress, which is really weird because he was elected by Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But
he could have done it without Israel. That's clear.
Yeah. Here we go.
At the election, but I do think that it's going to make sure that it's going to be very close.
So that answer is the perfect example of the democratization of response that the artificial left is now universally mocked for, talking like that. I call him the oath of office, if you like.
He took an oath. He had an oath of office.
He took an oath of office. He's smart enough not to rock the boat he wants to be invited on board to. That's what that is.
Yeah. He does look like a guy that pulls nets up on the side of the boat.
Yeah. He would never bite the hand that feeds him, although he does require hand feeding. When he says, I'm going to follow Israel, what does that mean? He's going to follow Israel on this. What is that? Is he explicitly saying that no matter what Israel does, he'll support them? Because that's kind of scary. That is what he's saying.
Well, it sounds like he's saying, look, I don't care who votes for who, I'll follow Israel. Whatever's happening with the voters has no bearing on his position.
That's right. That's right. That's what he's saying. No matter what's happening with the voters.
Hey, I'm cool. Me and Israel are cool, right? Israel?
I'm all about Israel.
AIPAC, don't run me out of the, the squad got broken up.
I know it's what. Yeah, I would know where my bread is buttered, and it's Israel. And even if I lose my next election, Israel's going to take care of me. So I don't understand how you could be so incompetent as to lose the Jews in Pennsylvania and the Muslims in Michigan.
Trump is getting both of them? Are you joking? He's getting the Muslims and the Jews.
All the Muslim mayors in Michigan endorsed Trump. I didn't cover that story, but I'm pretty sure I saw that headline.
Oh, inshallah.
And so, it's not, and I don't think it's that those people are such big fans of Donald Trump, but they know, and which is what Shama Sawant has said, that you have to, and ironically, that Peter Douche guy who used to work for the Clinton Foundation, he also made this argument that you have to punish the Democrats for funding a genocide. You have to, at some point, you have to punish them. And you can't keep voting for. Look at what the lesser of two voting for the lesser of two evils has gotten us. It's gotten to us where people proudly say they're going to support a person funding a literal genocide, a slaughter of women and children, because they prioritize their own abortion rights. That is the most self-centered bullshit I've ever heard in my life. Or trans rights, or immigration status, over the slaughter of the most vulnerable people in the world. That is called self-centered garbage. Your lesser of two evil voting has now gotten you to the point where you're literally supporting a genocide. The slaughter of women and children en masse. That's why I stopped doing that. Last time I did that was 2012. I voted for Barack Obama. I thought he was the lesser of two evil with Mitt Romney. I was wrong. He wasn't.
Hey, Jimmy, they're not like, if you're voting for Democrats for abortion, you should be doing what the Arabs are doing and punishing them for promising to save abortion rights and not doing it two Democratic in a row. So, day one, I'm going to codify Roe v. Wade. They don't codify it. Then you hear, well, they couldn't do it because, why did you say you could do it? So I don't think it has anything to do with that issue. I think that's just what they're saying on TV. These people are like,
I've had people say, they couldn't codify Roe versus Wade, even though Barack Obama.
Why'd they say it to me?
Barack Obama ran on codify. He says that my first order of business when I'm president, my first priority. He said.
Biden said it.
He said Barack Obama said is to codify Roe versus Wade, and then as soon as he got elected, they asked him, "Are you going to codify Roe versus Wade?" And you know what his response was? It's not on my priority. What? And so now I have people apologizing for Barack Obama. They go, well, he couldn't anyway because they didn't have the votes in the Senate. Well, just what Kurt said. Well, then why did you promise it? First of all, they did. They had the supermajority Democrats. And they say, well, Manchin wouldn't have went along with it. Well, that's when the president comes in and uses his leverage and squeezes someone for a vote. That's what you do. And you promise Joe Manchin that you're more popular than a senator from fucking West Virginia. That you just got elected in an overwhelming landslide. And you're going to make his life hell from now until kingdom come if he doesn't vote to codify. So that's not apparently Joe Manchin's more powerful than the president of the United States. That's been the lie all along. And people who I know and respect repeat that lie. Oh, well, they can't because of Manchin. Yeah, that's not how it works.
Jimmy, did he take over where Robert Byrd was? Robert Byrd was West Virginia, right? The Klansman guy?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
The one that they all went to his funeral.
Yeah, and said he was a great guy. Yeah.
So I don't know what it is about beyond the normal powers of the Senate you're supposed to get. There's something about that particular seat in West Virginia that wields a crazy amount of power. And I know Robert Byrd did because he's a Klansman they had to suck up to even after he's dead. You know, so there's some kind of
what it is that what's his name? What's the guy? The current
Manchin.
Manchin is the biggest corporate whore the Democrats have. It used to be Joe Biden, but then it was Manchin, and I mean he's right up there. So what he has is the power of the donor class behind him. So that's why Manchin has that power.
So literal Satan.
Yeah. So that's why he has that kind of power because he's the walking, talking mouthpiece of the donor class. There's no original thought in Manchin's head. Every thought he has been implanted by a donor, by a billionaire, the people who actually run the country.
Sounds better than Kamala. That sounds like Kamala, except he can talk.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what Kamala Harris is. Kamala Harris is a walking, talking embodiment of a donor class. And every idea she has been implanted and given to her by a billionaire. And that's a fact. By the war machine. Yeah. What do you think all the people in the war machine? Dick Cheney and Liz said that her foreign policy, they've said it, that they like her foreign policy better than Donald Trump's. You know why? Because Donald Trump isn't a warmonger like them.
And they had it programmed in her dumb head.
and literally,
you just described MK Ultra 100%. By the way,
I had an online discussion with someone I've known for 30 years in Hollywood, considers themselves a liberal, and they just come out and say it. And I said, at some point, I have to admire your courage for just coming out and saying that you prioritize abortion rights and immigration status of migrants above the slaughter of innocent women and children. I go, not most Harris people aren't that clear when they say that, but you are. That's just amazing. That's called morally indefensible. That's called self-centered into the nth degree. You say Trump is a narcissist? What the hell do you call that?
How come it's all these people way past childbearing age worrying about the states being in charge of their own laws and about abortion? By the way, they didn't end abortion. Trump didn't do anything about it.
Right. And by the way, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was favored Trump's policy. That's another thing they don't tell you on the news. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was for sending the abortion issue, Roe v. Wade, back to the states, just like Donald Trump. People don't know that. And if you tell them that, they will, but these are the same people.
California is not in any danger of losing abortion. Right. What the hell are you talking about?
These are the same people who still tell you that they thank God for the COVID vaccine. Those are the same. In the same conversation, that was also said to me.
Were they
so these people are ignorant on purpose. They're ignorant on purpose, and they call themselves liberal, yet they repeat big pharma propaganda, war machine propaganda, and they're against free speech. And they call themselves liberal. There's nothing liberal about you because you've been tricked into prioritizing abortion rights over a genocide.
Yeah, I'm going to guess they don't have any conviction about it either way. It's a lifestyle. Why do jerk-offs move to Hollywood in the first place? To live the lifestyle that you heard about in Hollywood. When people move there, I moved there because I had a job. That's why I moved there. But people go there with their, the most moronic dreams that you could imagine. Most of them end up on Hollywood Boulevard, which is not far from where I used to live in Hollywood.
Right.
And not a single one, dude, remember how impassioned they were about the Dalai Lama?
Remember
Every
that?
one of these dumb shit actors. Oh my God, Tibet and free Tibet and blah, 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 Tibet. The only people that bring up Tibet now are random troll gamers just to have a laugh. That disappeared. So they don't have any real cares about anything other than being in the group. And that means towing the line that you heard from the TV to say. Well, people post-menopause yapping about abortion. Shut up.
And it is amazing to watch them repeat stuff that they've heard on the TV like it's real. They could be 50 years old, 50-year-old people who don't understand that the TV news isn't real.
Well, neuroplasticity,
and they think I'm the one spreading misinformation.
Yeah, well, you do a lot of jerk offs, is what I'm getting from that. Every time I hear this story, I'm like, did you know anybody that wasn't a jerk off? Or everybody you knew was some old comic improv douche, except for the few people that I meet that hang out still.
Yes,
but I knew all that when I got into comedy. I could see it. They're all like that. They're not going to jeopardize their imaginary, all these people are imaginary dukes and duchesses in their head. Okay, even if they don't say the title, they don't want to lose their noble status. Do you understand that?
Yes,
it's like a title.
Yes,
so that's what liberal is. There should be a silent K in front of it. I'm a liberal of the round table. It's
really stunning that people who I hung out with for over a decade and a half, who shared big laughs with.
Yeah, almost like they're in a trance, because that's a thing that's been going on for many, many years.
It's like they're in
the TV is doing something to them, isn't it?
I mean, people who I used to open for, who had TV shows. Now it's like I say about Jim Gaffigan, who did a great job at the L. Smith. That was, he was going against his brand, so I give him a tip of the hat. But and I'm a super big fan of Jim Gaffigan's comedy. He's a great comedian, and he would never be political like most people in their comedy, because they don't want to split their audience. They don't want to turn off half the country, until it came to Trump. And he's like, well, I've got to say something now. And I'm like, no, the time to say something was when Barack Obama was governing like Ronald Reagan. And how do I know that? Because that's what Barack Obama said. He said, my policies would be considered moderate Republican like Ronald Reagan in the 1980s, if it was the 1980s. Well,
and Ronald Reagan sucked ass.
Maybe if you actually governed like a progressive lefty and you gave people actual health care instead of a right-wing giveaway to the big pharma and the insurance companies, maybe if you didn't kick 5.1 million families out of their homes while you made sure the bankers got their bonuses, maybe if you sided with the people at Occupy Wall Street instead of Wall Street, maybe if you didn't take us from 2 wars to 7, maybe if you didn't drop more bombs than George Bush, maybe people wouldn't have a reason to vote for Donald Trump. Maybe if you weren't trying to pass the international version of NAFTA while Hillary Clinton was running for president, which is what he was doing, trying to pass
that's getting us close to our one world government, Jimmy,
yes,
to have the free trade. Our new world order that they've talked about over and over throughout the years, which when someone would bring it up, I would go, shut up. What is that new world order? They were saying it all the time.
And so they
on TV. Yeah.
They think that all of a sudden Trump discovered all these racists in America. Trump, by the way, who did the step back, which let black people out of prison. Joe Biden, who did this crime bill, which put all the black people in prison. Isn't it ironic how twisted they can get it? So instead of trying to figure out, hey, why did people who voted for Bernie Sanders then turn around and vote for Donald Trump? Why did working class people? Well, maybe it was because the Democratic Party said that we don't care if we lose blue collar workers because we're not even trying to appeal to them. It never. So that's what my message to Jim Gaffigan is why don't you take one more step and look into why those people were willing to vote for Donald Trump, including black people in Milwaukee, in Wisconsin, who wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton. Why not figure that out? Why wouldn't
because
they?
A lot of white supremacists are black now, sad to say.
Yeah.
That's how corrosive Trump's effect has been, coupled with Tucker Carlson, the most corrosive other element of society.
All right, we got to go. I got a guest coming on. I'm a little late. All right, so we'll be back with you, Kurt, in a little bit.
All right, bye.
All right, so we got to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have our guest, John Stone. Okay, November 29th, we're going to be at Lappers Comedy Club in Burbank, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. We're going to be in Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Lexington, Kentucky, coming up November 12th through the 17th. Go to jimmydore.com. It's the only place to get the tickets because people go to other places and they sell them for more money. So the cheapest place to get the tickets for our stand-up comedy shows over at jimmydore.com. Go to jimmydore.com. Don't go anywhere else. Click the link there. Buy the ticket there. If you go anywhere else, you're going to pay more money. Don't do that. I had a friend come to see us in San Antonio and paid $100 a ticket. I was like, I don't sell my ticket. My tickets aren't $100. My tickets are $35. $35 tickets. $35, very affordable. $35. She's like, what? I paid $100 each. I'm like, yeah, I know you. Where'd you go? I went to the website. No, you didn't. She went to a reseller. It was that what's it called? Vivid tickets or something like that. So don't just Google Jimmy Dore tickets. Go to jimmydore.com. And we'll see you in Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington. That's next week. See you there next week. And then we'll see you on the 29th in Burbank, California. And we'll see you in Honolulu. We're going to be at Hawaiian Brian's in Honolulu, January, I think it's 11th. That's right. I'm excited.
People keep saying that they tune in just to see you say Honolulu. What are you saying? How are you saying it? That they're
Honolulu. I don't know. Maybe I say it funny.